Hello guys, you're welcome to HisGov TV. Now I came across a video of Prof Lumumba talking about the economy of Africa, what Africans produce and what they consume. Let's watch the video and then we will come back to react to it.
Africa is the only continent on earth that consumes that which it does not produce and produces that which it does not consume. Curiously, we are the only continent on earth that is still referred to in the following derogatory terms: Anglophone Africa, Francophone Africa, Lesophone Africa, and those who are generous even refer to some part of Africa as Arabophone Africa. They do not say that of Latin America. They do not say that of Asia. And I'm submitting to us that this is important because it demonstrates that there is something in our minds that we have yet to liberate ourselves. We have yet to decolonize our mind, which Ngugi wa Thiong'o says is the prerequisite to our total liberation, so that we can engage with the world meaningfully.
Yes, and so that is very true. A lot of African countries produce what they do not consume, and also consume for what they do not produce. And this basically has to do with our background. That is because of colonization. During the colonial period, many African countries were made to cultivate a particular kind of raw materials needed by their colonial masters. And so Africans ended up, depending on the West or their colonial masters for imported food. Now, many often the crops that the colonial masters demand were not crops that Africans could consume. For instance, when you take Ghana, for instance, Ghana was made to grow, or farmers were encouraged by missionaries and European, traders to grow or to cultivate cocoa. And so a lot of Ghanaians have large hectares of cocoa farms. However, if you ask them to produce a farm or to show you a farm where they have food crops, it becomes a problem. And so a lot of the African countries ended up growing, cash crops like coffee, cocoa, cotton, granite, and these are raw materials which I don't think you can consume cocoa and be satisfied. So at the end of the day, if you come to my village, there is a farmer who has large hectares of cocoa farm, and he calls himself a rich man. But if you ask him, do you have a farm for maize? Because the answer is no. So he's aiming at cultivating the raw material, cocoa, which he and his family cannot survive on or cook. I don't think you can cook coffee or cocoa and eat with your family. So at the end of the day, because of the colonial economy, he has been made to cultivate the cocoa, and with the introduction of currency by the Europeans, when you cultivate the cocoa, then we come and buy with our currency, and the belief is that if you have our currency, then you are a rich man. So then you use the Europeans' currency to then pitch it. So the Europeans will then send the cocoa to their country, change it into whatever, and then they bring it back to your country. Then you use the money that they gave you to buy the beans to go and buy the finished product. And that is what Lumumba, Prof Lumumba, was referring to. That is the structure of the colonial economy. Okay, and so Africans were producing a lot of cocoa, a lot of coffee, a lot of cashew and all of that, which they do not consume. And they were producing or cultivating less of food crops like maize, rice, yam, those food crops. They were not cultivating them. And so at the end of the day, after independence, a lot of Africans are still relying on the West for their food. And so for instance, when there was COVID, a lot of people were saying that, hey, then it's going to lead to there is going to be hunger in Africa, there is going to be famine in Africa, people are going to lose their life, people are going to die because there is going to be a shortage of food crops. And I asked myself, really? We are living in the forest, as they say, that we are the monkeys. We are living in the forest. You understand? Our lands are fertile. So how dare you tell me that because Ukraine, of course, Russia has attacked Ukraine, therefore I won't get food to eat? No. And it's basically because of our reliance on the West. It is time African countries begin to invest in crop production, rice production, yam production, maize production. These, of course, food crops, staple food crops, should be cultivated. Governments, various African countries should be engaged. Government should be involved in the producing of these raw materials to try and do away with this colonial economy, which has led to African countries, becoming stagnant in terms of development. Well, let me hear your view in the comment section about this whole issue that Prof Lumumba raises. And then, yeah, do not forget to subscribe to our channel.